The channel and welcome to today's video. Now we are doing an unboxing and review of a Hornby steam locomotive. So here it is. And for those of you who don't know, this is a A4 built by Sir Nigel Resley. Now I believe number 60026 was built in 1938. So if we have a look at the end of the box, this is R3522 BR Early 462 Class A4 Miles Beevor number 60026. Now as we can see, this is a DCC ready model because we don't have DC here. So let's get it out of the box. So like all Hornby steam locomotives, you get the sleeve with it, and this is the modern one, so it's in the block of ice packaging. It's a bit tight to get this out. So in the box, put this down, we have the instructions and the operating and maintenance manual. So on the back there you can see a little bit of how to get the body off and where to oil and put lubrication and some of the different things on the loco. If you want to pause the video and read that, you can. And then also we have the general information on this side with the routine maintenance. So if you want to stop and read that as well, you can. So then, in the block of ice packaging, we get the logo, and the first thing you'll notice is just how heavy this is. Let's take off yet another sleeve, and then you'll get a bag with some spare parts and more instructions. So in this, let's see if we can get the camera to focus on it. We get this, which is a wheel, which goes underneath the cab. Now, currently on the model, the wheel that's fitted has no flange, and the flange being this piece here, which keeps the model on the track. You can see we also get some vacuum pipes and the cylinder drain cocks, which are these golden parts. So that's the spare parts bag. And then in here is the model. Let's open this out and get it out. Like I say, it's a very heavy model. So that's the packaging done and the unboxing. Let's have a look at this splendid model. So then let's have a look at some of the detail on this fantastic model. Now starting down at the front, we can see that there are some nice lamp irons which are not bent or out of place, some vacuum brake pipes and the screw link upperling. Also the buffers are turned metal and they are sprung, and they are really nice. You can also see on the front of the logo here that there is a little plate on there which says 34A. Now I'm not sure what that's for, but then it's been done very nicely. Also you can see at the bottom, just above the buffer here, you can see it says A4. Then going up towards the top of the model, we can see that the locomotive number has been done very nicely. There's also another lamp iron on top of that, and you will notice the whistle at the top, which is metal and it's not wonky, so that is a very good thing. Looking down at the side of the model, we can see that the balances have been removed, which are like the side plates, and you can see over the cylinder there is a bit of the balance. So that's what it would have been like all the way along, but then during the British Rail period they were removed. So then looking at the front of the cylinder, we can see the cylinder head, and that has been moulded very nicely. And coming down the side of the loco, we can see that all of the lining on the model has been done to a very high standard, and as we can see it looks absolutely fantastic. And we can see the nameplate. I'm not sure if it is an etched nameplate, but it is a separately fitted part and it does look very good. And we can also see the handrail along the top, which is absolutely fantastic, and it's not bent, which again is fantastic. And we have a look at some of the rods on the side of the locomotive. So we can see the piston here will push this, which will therefore turn the wheels, and they are all done to a very high standard and they all look very nice. You can also see on the side of the loco these little doors along the side. I believe they access things like the sanders and the oil points on the locomotive. Now they aren't separately fitted, they are only a part of the moulding, but they do look absolutely fantastic anyway. So moving down to the cab then, we can see that there is this rather nice silver paint around the cab window, which again looks absolutely fantastic. We can also see the drain plugs on the side of the boiler, which are these. You can see 3 along the top there too. Now they are for when the loco gets what's effectively a service. What they do is they unscrew them and then they basically put high pressure water in the boiler, and then if you've ever looked inside of your kettle at home, you'll notice there's like mould looking stuff, that lime scale, that also builds up in steam locomotives, so the drain plugs there so that you can wash all that lime scale out. You can see on the side of the cab the number is very nicely done. We can also see in very small writing at the bottom here RA9, and that stands for route availability 9, which means this won't fit on some routes with either low bridges or tight stations. You can also see the lining around the cab is absolutely fantastic, and above the lining you can see a handrail, which is a separately fitted part. You can also see that there is glazing in the windows, which looks fantastic. Then we can see here, I believe this is a reversing rod, but whatever it is, it looks very nice. Now in the detailing bag I said there was a wheel for underneath the cab that had flanges on. Here it is, you can see it has the wheel flanges on. Then the one that's under the cab, as you can see, hasn't got any flanges on, and that's to help it go around some sharper bends. If we have a look in the cab, I don't know how well I can get this to work, but we can see the cab detail is absolutely fantastic. We can actually see and if you have very good eyesight, read what all the dials say. I know that big one in front of us, so just above the injector handle, is the speedometer. Now it's the pressure gauge, and the one on the left to it is the speedometer. We can also see the water gauge glasses, the vertical reverser, and all the pipework on the front of the loco. We can also see the firebox door, which has been done very nicely. Now moving on to the tender, there is some inside detail. We just zoom in again. You can see there are some handles in there for things like the handbrake, which is very nice. Now I have just left the oil load in, but I will be fitting a real oil load at some point in the future. Now the tender connection on this I really like, because the drawbar, which is the metal bar which you can see in there, is screwed on to the loco and the tender, which means it can't come undone and put a lot of strain on the wires. Now the wires are there because if you were to fit this model with a DCC, the speaker and the decoder would be in the tender. Now there are also tender pickups on this model, which are very, very good. We can also see the lining around the tender is absolutely fantastic. I'll try and get it to focus on the emblem, because as you can see, it is fantastic. So moving around to the back of the model now, you can see we have more lamp irons. We have separately fitted handrails and separately fitted lamp irons. Also we can see we have some separately fitted steps on the back as well, which look absolutely fantastic. You can also see a vacuum pipe on the back, and once again the buffers are sprung and metal, which are really good. So then if we have a look at the top of the model, you can see we have a single chimney on this model. You can see we have rivet detail along the top. You also see we have two safety valves, which are separately fitted and metal. Now another really good feature on these models is if you want the cab vents open, you can actually open them, which is really good. Now if we look on top of the tender, there is the fairly realistic oil load, and then that is for filling the tender with water. So then that is the detail on this fantastic model. Now let's have a look at how it performs on the layout, shall we? So then let's have a look at the slow speed performance of this model. So let's watch it do a little bit of a roll then. Look at that is absolutely fantastic. And it's the same in reverse. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. It's barely even moving. So then as you can see, the slow speed with this model is absolutely fantastic. So let's couple it up to a train and let's have a little bit of a running session. So we need some coaches for the A4 to pull. So we have a loco on the way now, it's the Deltic. And because the A4 is such a nice model, I thought we should run it with these almonds. So we just check how that has. It hasn't coupled, does it? Typical. Let's change the point and let's have these shunted round into the station. So let's get these coaches off the Deltic. Do that by shifting them slightly and then putting this underneath. Oh. Hang on. Right, now what we need to do is just let the Deltic go. And now we can get the A4 hooked up. So here comes the A4. So here we go then. We'll do a slip off the A4 there and away we go. So then folks, I hope you enjoyed seeing this unboxing and review of the A4 Miles Beevor. If you have, then please give this video a like, and if you're new to the channel or if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. And that is all folks, and I will see you in the next video.